well, I don't want this to be a shit talking video. I want this to be more of a storytelling video.
Fuck boy, my bitch been said it. That's why I should've let your best friend get it. We went on trips, you bought Chanel, but money ain't shit when you soft as hell, cause you's a fuck.
Hey guys, so I know it's weird actually seeing me post because I haven't posted in like so long, but it's all good because I'm back. I'm gonna try and post like once a week. I probably will be able to because this summer I don't really have anything to do except for work. So my most popular videos are either my story times or my what I eat in a days. So I decided to do a story time for you guys. This story time is gonna be about my ex-boyfriend. I was actually never gonna talk about this because I didn't want to seem like, I don't know, I didn't want to seem petty or something. Like, I don't know. I'm just whatever. From September to like February, I was kind of involved with this guy, and unfortunately my emotional self really caught feelings for him, like very deep feelings, which I don't regret actually, because this dude was actually one of the nicest guys I've ever been with. But anyway, we kind of fell off in February, which was fine, but I was so sad about it. Like, I was literally like crying every day. I was like, oh mom, like my heart is broken, like I really loved this kid. That was literally me. What should I call my ex? I'm gonna call like my ex, like the one that I have a little bit of love for. I'm gonna call him, I already forgot what I was gonna call him. Nick. Okay, I'm gonna call my ex, the one that I have a little bit of love for, Nick. And then I'm gonna call my ex, the one the story time's about, I'm gonna call him Matthew. Why did I do this? I'm so dramatic. Okay, let's get this going. Alright, so me and Nick had just kind of stopped talking. It's been like a week or two from now. Oh, also, Nick sent me this message saying he wanted to move on, and I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll move on then. So I got a Tinder, and I started talking to guys on Tinder. And the way I do Tinder is I kind of just like every couple weeks I'll go and like swipe like right or whatever one is the right way on people. And then I'll kind of like turn off my location and kind of just like not go on Tinder for like another week, and then I'll go on Tinder the next week and like look through my messages, and it's kind of like a cycle that goes like that. But at this time I was kind of going on every other day and doing that cycle rather than doing it every week or so. So it was kind of like more frequently. So I was like kind of meeting more people, and I never actually like met anyone off Tinder except for Matt, and yeah, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, so this kid named Matt had messaged me on Tinder. But anyway, he messaged me and was like, oh, what's your favorite artist at the moment? And then we just had like a kind of casual conversation. And I take a long time to reply to messages on Tinder and through text message. So this conversation we had kind of lasted over like a span of like 2 days basically. And then I just gave him my number because he kind of got interesting, and a lot of people don't give everyone their number, but I do because like it's easy to block someone. I never save anyone's number unless they actually give me a reason to save their number, you know. So yeah, I gave him my number and we started talking, and we literally hit it off. We have a lot in, okay, not gonna say that we had a lot in common, so I thought. I mean, I guess we do. Okay, I'm just being salty now. From what I know, we have a lot in common. Basically, me and Matthew, we went very fast. And this is not, oh, don't get me started. Okay. Anyways, Matthew asked me on a date. We started talking on Tinder, I think maybe on a Friday or a Saturday. And that following Monday, we went to the Cheesecake Factory and we went to the movies together. We hit it off. We really hit it off. I think Matthew's a very attractive person on the outside. And I thought that when I first met him too. However, when I first met him, I thought he was a really good person on the inside. So I was like, but I also kind of like him, and like the whole fact that he was a perfect candidate to get back at Nick made me like him more. And also I was like kind of in the mood for a boyfriend because the whole me and Nick situation was just like tiring for me. Like I was tired of not being someone's like number one, if that makes sense, because I'm never gonna do a story about I'm never gonna do a story time about Nick because he's too sensitive for that, and he watches my videos sometimes and he'll get pissed off and he'll never talk to me again, and that'll make me sad because it's my baby. Also, I want to let you guys know that when me and Matt first started talking, like through text, I was like, I don't want anything serious, and I was very, like, I was like honest about that. Like, my ideal setup at this time, like, was to have someone that I could mess around with, but also be like kind of girlfriend and boyfriend, but not actually be boyfriend and girlfriend, because I was still like I still had like major feelings for Nick, like, and I still kind of do, but like they're kind of gone now, but like at that moment, like I literally, like I wanted to be with Nick. Like that's just how it was for me. Matt was like such a good guy too, so it was kind of like, okay, it's nice, like now I can have what I wanted with Nick, but it won't be with Nick, but it's fine because this guy is just as good as a candidate as Nick is, but he's not Nick. That's how it was. That's how like thinking was in my head. And then like we made out on the couch. He was like, you know, I'm all yours, and I was like, okay, this is weird because like guys usually don't say that to me. And I mean, it's not like it wasn't like it wasn't a lie, because it isn't the kind of person to, I don't think that he's the kind of person to be with multiple girls, not because he's a nice person, just because I don't think he can get multiple girls at once. I don't know, I guess that's like a bitchy thing to say, but it's literally true, because like if anyone met this kid, like you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I feel like unless it's on Tinder, he's not gonna be able to like cheat on anyone ever, because he's just too fucking awkward. But that's a different story for a different day, and I'm not gonna talk shit. To make a long story short, me and Matt just spent a lot of time together. An uncomfortable amount of time together. And I mean, at first it was fine because we were both kind of in like a honeymoon stage type thing, where I was happy because I had finally found my Nick replacement, and I think he was happy because he'd finally got a girl. So like we're both pretty happy, like we're both like ecstatic at this point, so we're getting along really well. We always have stuff to talk about. It's always just like, oh yeah, like it's just like we're perfect for each other at this point, you know. But at this point, like I still don't want anything serious. But I was thinking, like, if it did escalate, I wouldn't mind, like, being his girlfriend one day, because I liked him. Like, I started to like him. I realized we had a lot of stuff in common. Like, that's how I was feeling. But if anyone who knows me knows that I'm a very dramatic person. So when I'm in the moment, my emotions feel really deep. And I know this about myself. So even when I'm in moments and I feel deep emotions, I kind of step back and, like, I'm like, okay, like, this isn't as intense as you think it is. But, like, I'm fine with feeling it as intensely as it is, because it feels better. Especially when it's, like, happiness, you know? So I felt really comfortable with Matt, and he made me think that I could feel comfortable with him, which really pisses me the hell off, but I'll get into that later. And I was like, you know, and this is like a week after we actually started hanging out, like a week after. I was like, you know, I wouldn't mind being your girlfriend one day. And he was like, he just smiled and gave me a kiss on the forehead, and I was just like, that's sweet. And then he said something to me like, I'd never want to hurt your feelings. And I said, thanks. He said, do you know why? And this is like a couple minutes later, and I'm like, why? He said, because you're my girlfriend. And I was just like, okay. And I was like nervous because I didn't expect this to happen for like a while, but I was just okay, yeah, because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I'm like a people pleaser, especially when I like you. Like I'll try my hardest to do everything that makes you happy and do nothing that hurts your feelings. That's just how I am. Yeah, that's kind of how that started. And then he went to Miami for a week for spring break. I'm a very needy person. Any guy who has ever been with me knows this. Even my friends know this. Like, I'm needy. Like, I want you to pay a lot of attention to me, and when you don't pay attention to me, I feel very underappreciated. However, I'm also kind of a passive person when it comes to relationships, or like romantically, or anyone I really care about like strongly. It'll take me a while to ever talk about something that bothers me, because I don't want to be like a burden to the person that I care about, you know? So he kind of stopped texting me as much as he did whenever we first started talking. However, he was in Miami, so I'm like, I don't expect anyone to text me all the time in Miami, because I know for damn sure I wouldn't text anyone. Like, if I were in Miami with my friends for a week, no one would hear from me. Like, I wouldn't even. This is what's weird to me, because if I knew I was going to Miami in a week, I would not start a relationship the week before. Hex to the no. I'd be a hoe. Like, that's why it's weird to me that he asked me to be his girlfriend, but I just thought it was because he was like a genuinely nice guy. Like, that's what I thought. And it was like just basically a constant like relationship kind of thing. Like, nothing really weird happened. Also, so none of you hating bitches think I was just some like secret side chick. Like, I met all of his friends. Like, I went to parties with him and all this other kind of shit. So it wasn't one of those situations, because I would have killed somebody. Like, little things happen that kind of gave me foreshadowing to what was gonna happen later, but nothing big happened. We're getting a little fights, not like huge fights, just like disagreements you'd have with anyone after you're with them every day of the week. I didn't get to tell you guys this part. He literally asked me to come over every night of the week, and that to me is literally infuriating. Not because I don't love hanging out with the people that I care for. I do. I like my alone time though. So I just get home and he's like, okay, come over, and I'm just like, fine, like I will. And I won't say no, because I don't like to hurt people's feelings. Anyone that you're around all the time gets annoying. Like, I annoyed him, he annoyed me. Like, that's just how it was. So like, that made me sad, because the way we would argue is that I would say something and then he would say something and then I would say something and he would disregard it as if it's not important to him. That hurts me, because I'm a sensitive person, and I want to make sure my opinion's always valued, and like, I want to feel like I'm valued and I'm appreciated, and he never made me feel like that, especially not towards like the end of our relationship. So at this point, I'm like, I want to break up with him. Like, that's just how I feel. I felt like this for like the last like week or so of our relationship, but that's something that I will push down. If I feel that way about someone, I'll push it down in my soul because I don't want to hurt anyone. The last weekend that we were together, the best weekend of my life, my brothers came down to CMU, which is the place that this kid goes to, and we went to this fashion show, and it was such a good fashion show. I'm really glad that we didn't break up before that fashion show because I'm really glad that I got to see it. The night of the fashion show, we went down to Newcastle, which is where I'm from, and we went to the party, and I literally was sleeping at like 1 a.m., so I don't know a lot of what happened that night, but from what I know, my ex Matt was just sitting there not talking to anybody, just smoking other people's stuff all night. All freaking night. All night. Didn't bring anything of his own. That's all he did. All night. Didn't talk to anybody. That's all he did. Anyway, the next day we hung out with Jordan and Michael, who are my best friends in the entire world.
I'd also like to say that my best friends, Jordan and Michael, invited this kid to stay at their house for free, for no charge, and let them use all of his shit. Or all of their shit.
My best friends in the entire world. Also, my other best friend Madison came to the party. I'm just letting you know, all of my closest friends were at this party. My closest friends. And anyone who knows me knows that I love my friends. I will choose my friends and family over a dude any day of my life. We didn't go home together after the party. He had to go do stuff, I had to go do stuff, and it was like, that's just how it was. Oh, so then the next day we don't see each other, which was kind of weird to me because he usually wants to see me all the time, and I was like, okay, well, I guess something's wrong. And then the next day, it was a Tuesday actually, I felt like I had the worst feeling in my stomach that whole day. I had so much stuff to get done, and when I got it all done, it was like 10 p.m. and I had showered, I was washing my face, and I was like, it's weird because me and Muhammad haven't talked all day. And so I texted him and I was like, hey, are you okay, because we haven't spoken. And he was just like, I think we need to talk, like we need to talk. I kept calling him, I said, can I see you? And then he was like, no, I'm busy. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a little bit crazy. And I'm not crazy like, oh, who are you texting? Like, let me see your phone. Like, oh, you can't hang out with that person. I'm not that kind of crazy. Like, do whatever you want, because if you fuck me over, you're gonna regret it. So I don't, like, I'm not possessive crazy. I'm more of like, you don't know what I'm capable of crazy. Snapped at this point, and I took an Uber to his place to like pop up on him. However, I didn't realize that his Uber was still on my phone, because the last time we used Uber, like, his phone wasn't working, so we had to use like it on my phone. So unfortunately I used an Uber to go to his place, and he got a notification for it, so when I got there he wasn't there. So I waited at his place and I was like, where are you? And he was like, I'm not coming home tonight, you might as well go home. I was like, okay, well, that's fine, I'm in your hallway, I'll be here until you get here, like, I'll see you when I see you, because you're not gonna say shit like we need to talk and then not tell me what you need to talk about. But this is okay because he's done this kind of thing before, because before our relationship I told him I needed to talk to him, and it wasn't anything super serious. I don't remember what it was about. I think it was me telling him that if you ever have second thoughts, let me know, because I felt when I had that conversation with him that we rushed into things. Like, that was my feelings, but he reassured me that that's not what it was. So I was just like, okay, like, maybe I'm just being crazy, and like, I'm the only one that's having second thoughts about this, like, it's fine. No. Hermosa, let me tell you something. This dude is literally like, he's so backwards. I texted him, I was like, where you at? You're not at your house, you're not at the library, like, where the fuck are you? And he didn't answer me. So what am I gonna call his friend? Also, Matt's friend has a really big role in the story as well, and I didn't think of anything to call him, so give me 1 sec. I'll call Matt's friend Alex, which is a funny name if you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so I texted Matt's friend Alex on Instagram. Well, I guess I DM'd him on Instagram, and I was like, hey, where's Matt? He hasn't spoken to me. Like, he's like being weird. Like, I don't know what's wrong with him. And Alex was like, oh, I don't know where he's at, blah, blah, blah. You know, he was doing some other fuckboy shit. I ended up leaving Matt's place because I realized at this point that he wasn't gonna come home because he was too afraid to face me, which is just like I wanna die. It's literally fucking gross. Like, you can't face me, I'm literally like 107 pounds, but whatever. That's besides the point. I told Alex through Instagram DM to tell Matt that we're done. I went back home, and then Alex was like, hey, are you fine? Like, I want to make sure you're okay. Do you want to come over? I'll call you an Uber. And I'm like, okay, it's already 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm not going to get any sleep. I might as well go to his place. Maybe we can smoke or something. Like, that was my mindset going. I kind of knew what was coming, but it's fine. I was like, I want you to tell me everything I said to you. Like, I want to know the truth. Like, I won't be able to move forward from this unless I know the truth. Alex and I started talking, and Alex told me a lot of things. And one of the most interesting things that Alex told me was that Matt talked a lot of stuff about my friends. I'm not going to say everything he said because I think that some of it doesn't really matter, but just know that a lot of things that he said were disrespectful and gross and like unattractive and unappealing. And when I heard these things, they didn't really process in my mind, only because I was so upset about the fact that he lied to me about other things and he lied to his friends about me. Oh, here's my thing about him. Like, I'm confused. Like, Matthew, if you ever want to be a man and actually tell me what the fuck was going through your head whenever you did this stuff, he tells his friends one thing. Like, things aren't even true about me. I never pressured him to be in a relationship with me. Like, that's literally something that he brought on himself. Like, in order for us to keep on messing around, he didn't have to be my boyfriend. I told him that. He just did that because I guess he's a psychopath. Like, I don't know. He told his friends that I forced him into a relationship and that he didn't want to be with me, but he said all of these things while he was like dating me, like openly, and then going to see my parents and then telling me that he wanted us for a long term. Like, he literally made me feel like I was trapped in the relationship, like I had to be with him because like I didn't want to hurt him and say that we were moving too fast. But then he made his friends seem like I was making him feel the same way, which is just like, I'm literally still in love with Nick. Like, I don't care about you this much. Like, I literally don't. Like, I was using him as a filler, and I know that sounds fucked up, but I mean, at this point, I don't feel bad, because why would I feel bad? Because that Friday, I went to his place, because we texted, and we were like, hey, we should see each other, like, I'm sorry, and stuff like that. I went to go get my stuff, and then we kind of talked it out, and I wish that we didn't talk it out, because he didn't deserve a chance to really apologize to me, and I guess that's when I really, like, officially broke up with him. I think it was kind of something that was already given, because I had messed around with his friend Alex, who is his best friend on campus, which I guess was kind of scummy, but that's just me. And honestly, I don't feel bad now. I felt bad at like that Friday whenever he told me about it. He was like, you know, I know what you did with Alex, and like, I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that again, because it's gonna be awkward because we're gonna be living together in May, and like, I don't want to have to see you. Guess what, Matthew? If you ever watch this video, I will hook up with all of your friends until I get tired of it, because I don't give a fuck about you, okay? That was evil. See, that evil shit has to go. Hopefully I don't put that in the video, because that was just so mean. Matthew literally asked me to not hook up with Alex again, and at first I wasn't going to because I felt so bad for him, and I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It slowly started to process in my mind what Matt had actually did to me, and that's when I got more and more angry. So then me and Alex kind of had a continuous thing going on, and a lot of it was driven by the fact that I was angry at Matt, but that kind of started going away, and I kind of just started enjoying Alex. And then Alex just had this stage where he got too full of himself. I think maybe the moon was in Leo. I don't know. I just know that I couldn't deal with his shit anymore, because he actually just, like, Alex did this thing where he started acting like he was too good for me, and I'll tell you guys right now, he's no Channing Tatum, and I just hate that. Don't sit here and make me feel like I need to beg for your attention, especially whenever I don't need it that much. Only reason no, I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. If you feel underappreciated and someone isn't texting you enough and someone's not appreciating you enough or giving you enough attention, please break up with them. Don't try to spare their feelings, because your feelings are more important. And if I would have just broken up with Matt whenever I really wanted to, none of the drama at the end would have happened. None of it. Nada. And I would have had a lot more peaceful April, but it's fine, because May is here. It's officially springtime. The sun is out. The flowers have bloomed. Time for new beginnings, you know what I mean? So, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and stay away from the fuckboys if you can.
That's why I should've let your best friend get it. We went on trips, you bought Chanel, but money ain't shit when you saw